Well, Ava and I are on our way to the Meadows. Got to watch Ollie play last night. His team was a winner, 8-1. It was a good game. It was in Simcoe. Now, when I initially heard Simcoe, I'm thinking, geez, that's closer to the border. Might be a closer run for Ava and I. Especially, and if it isn't, just at least to get down to Simcoe and then drive back to Ohio or Pennsylvania. And to my surprise, when I got to Simcoe last night, I happened to punch in time to the Meadows, 5:14. Time to the Meadows from my house in Guelph, 5:11. It's actually 3 minutes longer. So I stayed over in Ontario last night. We did not go back home. It just seemed unnecessary when you're virtually going to spend 5 hours to get home at 2 o'clock in the morning to Ohio, or 2 o'clock in the morning to stay in a hotel at the Meadows, go back home, get up. I'm going to be there at 20 after 12, which should be more than enough time to jump on and go. I've been told there's 3 schoolers, which means I'll go with 3 and Jason Merriman will go with 2. That will be fine for this week, which will set us up for next week, a much bigger roster to qualify. Now, I want to talk about last night. I want to touch on a few things. Every so often, obviously, we're a huge group of people, and every so often we lose one of us, right? Some of us pass away for various reasons, and one of our clients, a long-standing client, and I remember Patricia Martin and her husband, Stan, have been with us a long time before they joined the stable. This is back when I think the very first year we had the stable, Patricia and Stan were in the stable, and then Stan had passed, and Patricia had been in the stable with us right up until this week. Now, Patricia was very opinionated, strong-willed lady. We butted heads sometimes, but she loved horses, loved horse racing, and loved being a part of the stable. So never missed a race. I guarantee you, if a horse raced great, 5 minutes later, I had an email in my inbox from Patricia. The other side of that coin was if a horse raced bad, 5 minutes later, I had an email in my inbox from Patricia. She was constantly on Facebook and, loved living out her life. I honestly didn't realize that she was ill. I got a message from a phone call, actually, from her daughter end of last week, saying that Patricia was in the hospital. And, when I get a phone call from loved ones, it's always the same, right? So-and-so is in the hospital, they're very ill, or they passed. And how do we work out the shares? Now, I talked to Patricia right up until last week. She'd emailed me and was very, always vocal, but very interested in how this summer would go. Never once did she let on that she was ill, and all the time she was. Like many of her loved ones that we lose, she had cancer. And I got word yesterday that she passed. So, I've known her, and I knew her and Stan a very long time. I drove horses for them back when I was just a driver, a long time ago. And our paths just continue to cross. So, till the next time, obviously sad to see one of our clients go, and somebody that kept me in line all the time. So, sad to hear that, but our condolences to to Patricia's family and her daughter and the rest of her relatives. So that is that. It happens. We all know that. And Patricia went out just the way she lived. She wasn't going to let death define her. She posted a message, seemingly right before she passed, and could always be worse, I suppose. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about our races yesterday. We had 4 horses racing. I knew all 4 of them had outside shots. Just one of those days where we were hopeful, right? And I don't think anybody really let us down. I know that J.K. Victory got tired and walked on the end of it. But I was happy that Tyler let him scream off the car. The one thing about JK Victory, as a driver, you want to go 27, 55 and 4, 56, and then let him roll. But at least at Hoosier when he raced, you're often better to go 27, 54 and 4, 122, and he can usually get home 28 seconds. Now, he does have a little wrinkle to him still. I think that ankle bothers him a little bit. And I don't think his performance last night would warrant us again to have more discussion. We got to get him here. We got to get him there. I don't think you're going to see him race better. And time excluded. I don't really care about the time. Race better at the Meadows or Northfield or Scioto or anywhere else. So I think I'm more apt just to let it play out for now, right? And if it's a summer, I know that when we'd sent him to Hoosier, he'd raced sporadically good. The last year we had him good, sporadically good throughout the summer, but allergies did pose a problem. He did start to bleed, and it was an issue. So there's nothing to say that we can't just go easy with him for the summer also if we have to. Somebody messaged me yesterday and say, you're moving these horses around, but yet we still have Patrick DePrano, who's a fossil, now racing. We still have JK Victory, who'd had 3 or 4 years in these horses. Why don't we move those? Well, those horses have already established a foothold, right? They are what they are. Patrick DePrano will be worth today what he's going to be worth in 6 months if he keeps racing this way. He's racing good. JK Victory's in a bit of a funk, yes. Could be for various number of reasons. He's not a useless horse. When I look at the horses that we sold yesterday, they were for good reason. Roger and Alexander didn't fit any classes around here anymore. She didn't fit the Nommers 2 claimer. She had to go up into the Nommers 4 claimer. She was not a sire stake, nor was she a Buckeye filly. So therefore, a lot of the paths, most definitely the path that she was happily on, had come to its end. So it was time to move her. It was plain and simple. Mounds for All, sure, we could have kept him. That's pretty good money for Mounds for All, though. I told all our clients that messaged me, 28, 29,000. I run him up to 35 because as we continue to bid, sure, he could do in Scioto. Yes, we could send her to Minnesota. But as you may have noticed, Mounds for All is not for everybody, right? Brett Miller's a world-class driver, great driver. And I don't think he was a big fan of Mounds for All, right? Him and Stacy put the hobbles on him. They wanted to get him to leave. He was just a very particular animal. And I was not going to fly to Minnesota to drive Mounds for All. I'm sure he would have been fine, but I wasn't positive. And he's another one of those horses that, although we have struggled in 2025 to replace a number of horses and to acquire horses, I'm well aware that will change at some point. Can't outrun history. And historically speaking, there will be 3-year-olds that will be up for sale soon enough. A lot of the bigger stables, you've seen them already, moving their horses that just aren't the state caliber they want. That's awesome. We just want the overnight caliber. So they will be there. And at some point, you'll see us pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are affordable, that match what we're looking for and will fit in and make, as I always say, that immediate impact. So Mounds for All was sold, and then Never Lose Felix is just very similar to Rosa and Alexander. Just that road is coming to an end. That Nommers 1, Nommers 2 road. I don't believe he can do up in the Nommers 4 at Northfield or at the Meadows. I don't think he's a Stallion Series horse in any venue. So it just made sense to move. So those horses were gone. So that was JK Victory. I was happy the way he got off the car. I just need to see him do a little bit more work. We started the night with the Resolve Indeed. Pretty simple. I can break it down in the most simplest terms. She's not a 155 trotter. I told Dom, I guess we can't race her at Mohawk. So race her at Grand River. Race her at wherever. Georgian, I guess. Whatever's open now. And in between stakes, if she finds it difficult those places, well, I can guarantee you we just stroll her right over to Northfield and she would pump the Nommers 2 right through the Nommers 4. There would be no problems whatsoever. So I'm not really concerned with Resolve Indeed. I don't think there's a reason to move her anywhere just yet. She's right on the lower end of the grassroots level. You could always go the prospect series if we wanted. But again, there's no immediate need, have to move this horse right now. It's just not there. Not yet. Then we went to Northfield Park. I felt bad after I had messaged Tyler. I gave him this novel of what you can and can't do with a couple of condition claimers, and at the end of the I emailed him again or messaged him again and just said, hey, just race the horses, right? Don't worry about what I just said. Left good with Emerald Deal. Got him in the 3-hole, I think. Horsed him 2-hole walked. He's a bit of a hanger in the third quarter. I find him always like that. Even when he's on the front, you really got to work him over. You really got to get him moving. He hangs out in the third quarter. And that's why I said to him, if you leave, sit, I wouldn't move him in the third quarter. If you remember me saying that yesterday. But he still come on, ended up fourth, an okay fourth. We draw inside and get this horse to blow it. He's going to win at 54 and piece 55. I guarantee he is. And then Blue Ventura, again, just mired in traffic. This trailing post was painful. Got away wherever he got away. Never did get a chance to move. Couldn't move him where that horse was coming. The guy just sat outside of him the whole way. There's nothing he could do. Kind of weaved through and ended up fourth. He got everything he was going to get. I couldn't imagine the race going a different way, or him driving a different way in the way the race went, and getting more money. I don't see how that could happen. And he messaged me after. He's a good kid. Messaged me after and said, "Hey, they raced pretty good. I thought, what were your thoughts?" Told him the same thing. I think you got all you're going to get, kid. It's just the way it is. Two horses that if they draw on the gate, if they draw anywhere inside, I'll mop them with them both next week. Anyway, that is yesterday in a nutshell. Today is Tuesday. I'm going to arrive just in time to school these horses, and then I'm done for the day. Ava, Lily, and I will likely go to lunch. I don't think we have... Oh, you danced tonight, Mom said.
Yes, I do.
You have danced tonight. So Ava, Lily, and I will get some lunch.
7:30.
And then 7:30. And then I'll take her to dance tonight, and that will be it. I'll check in on the barn. After I take Ava to dance, I'll check in on the barn. In between, it's about a 45-minute window. Gives me lots of time. Make sure everybody has hay. They all ate the feed. They all seem good. There's no issues. Want to check in on Greatest Endings Quarter Crack. It wasn't a big one for those of you out there worrying. As far as his past issues, this was a minor one. It will keep him out this week, but it was a minor one. As I said to you yesterday also, Save America is heading to Prince Edward Island. Drew the papers. He's going to race tomorrow night. And then he is off to Prince Edward Island. Chucky Symes is going to ship him down to Jamie Smith. Should be a lot of fun watching him race all summer long also. And I guess most importantly, after I made that announcement yesterday, a number of people came forward and said, hey, what about getting another Save America? Do you think you could find another one of those kicking around? Well, maybe not, but we can do our best to try. So I will be on the hunt for as I just explained at the start of this video, we're going to be looking for all sorts of horses, but most definitely open horses as well. So it's just after 7:45 here in the morning on my way to the border. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day, and I hope we all have a wonderful week. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go get a bagel here at Tim Hortons and be off to the Meadows. Take care, everybody.